Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into this week's Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz. I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group, and I'm being distracted over here by the co-host, Mr. Shane Tokheim. What's going on, dude?
I'm in a great mood. It's funny. Like we had your breakfast this morning, and I was there. Just being around positive-minded, successful people. Having success and doing some good stuff, and it just makes you in a good mood. Like I was smiling the whole time. Everybody telling their, what they're doing well, and I'm like, yeah, it's so awesome.
That's funny that you say that because we didn't talk about that before we started this, but that's the exact same way I felt about it. It was a smaller group. Yeah. It's a different place. It was a really cute place, but like everybody seemed to be in good spirits. Businesses are doing pretty well. A lot of potential. Everybody was happy, and the energy there was great. Yeah. And is one of our better coffees just because of the energy, right? Yeah. Sometimes, when you hang out with people, they're like, struggling, or it just brings down the whole environment. And obviously, we're all going to go through that, and we try to pick each other up and encourage each other. That's what it's there for. But it was a different vibe this morning, and it was a lot of fun.
And a lot of success stories. That's what I really like.
Exactly. So that's kind of what spurred this on. Was, hey, we're going to talk about success stories today. And I hope nobody takes it like as a brag. Like we all have places that we can improve upon, even yourself. Yeah. Right? What can you improve upon? Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. I don't know. I do everything pretty, everything, you could do everything just a little bit better. Like I told you the other day, I'm not reading as much as I used to. I could definitely do that. I'm not writing at all. Yep. I'm not scheduling as many appointments as I should. I mean, I can do a lot of things better. Yeah. I am being more intentional about a couple of different offices and targets and stuff like that. And that's really going well, and I'm having success. So, No,
I like that. And yesterday, you started up the 8-week program again with a new group. Yeah. So that was really cool. Yeah. I like attending those, even though, I know what's going to take place and all that. But it's just a good reminder, and you meet different people. Yeah. But we were listening to Miracle Morning, first chapter, and as you were talking, it reminded me of your level 10 life, right? And thinking about different aspects of your level 10 life, right? I know that I've attended a Josh Sigmund training before, and he has like these forms that you fill out, and he pretty much, there might be like 8 different points of your life, and you rate it from a 1 to 10. Like, what are your 1 to 10 in this? In relationships, how's your personal relationships, on a 1 to 10 scale, and you rate it, and then your friendships, or your business, where's it at? So then it's just kind of thinking about it, and I remember doing it last, and I think I rated myself like at a 6 or a 7, kind of, and my circle was here. But imagine if I could get all of them to an 8. Yeah, my circle of life, would be better. So it's like there's always things that you can improve upon. Even if you feel like you're at a level 10, there's always the next level, right? So success stories, again, this is not to brag or anything. It's honestly to encourage people to go like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Maybe I should start with that one thing and go from there.
I think it's encouraging, and also it's to me, like when we're sitting around talking about this, the agents that are in my circle that are newer, like let's say 5 to 0 years, 0 to 5. It's almost like you're shocked, or like oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So it's not bragging. It's like, wow, we always say like, wow, I did my tracker this week, and wow, all of a sudden business. Yeah. And so I don't think it's bragging at all. I just think it's reality of showing you've been working, and good things come from it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of started off this morning at the gym for me. The first success that I want to talk about is one of my workout successes. And, I think I did miss a day on Sunday because I had a commitment to be somewhere at 9. But I think I've missed a total of 14 days at the gym this whole year. All right. And I started doing the calculations. Like, let's just say I missed 20 in the year. That's 345 days of working out. Like, I don't know anybody besides maybe you, that works out that much or is disciplined enough to do that. But anyways, we were going through the exercises, and today was more focused on lifting. And there's a few of the exercises that I got to, and I was like, is that easier than I thought it was, or am I just getting better? And I told my buddy that was there, David, and he was just like, yeah, you're just getting better.
Yeah,
You're just getting better. And it's like, it probably is, probably. Right? Because they're not easy. I know that, and none of them are easy, but you just go, wow, like I can lift more than I usually can, and I'm more flexible than I usually can. And so it's just those consistency, building and improving, and then you kind of just look up one and you're like, holy shit, like I'm better at that. So that was a cool success that I wanted to share with.
And it's just like I said in the group, like you don't start off day one doing that in a workout. Well, you don't start off day one in your business calling 100 people either. Right. You call 2 or 3, and then in 3 months, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm really good at calling people. Hopefully that's what you say.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
And we said, what we wrote down yesterday at the meeting of like, how many calls are you going to make? How many contacts are you going to make? It's like, start small.
Yeah. How are you doing on that?
Yesterday was okay. And it kind of, I need to pick up. So the rest of the afternoon, I got to get on it. But I'm going to hit my number. I know that. But it starts small. Start with 3. I remember the first time I met with you, and I think you told me 3 or maybe 5.
I told you 5. I don't know what you
said. And I did 5 like immediately. Like the next day I was like, dude, that was so easy. Like, well, do 7, And then you just started racking it up and like, okay, now we're shooting for 10, right? But just start somewhere. So I don't know how we got on that subject, but anyways.
Yeah, I compared your workout to business, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Another success story is my structure, and I called you probably at the end of last week, and it's like, what's funny, Shane? Last week was like the most structured my Google Calendar has been in a long time. I wrote it all down. I can show you, it's filled in like completely. This is my lunchtime. This is my hot and warm time. This is my database time. And even then I filled it all out, organized it, had a plan, and I probably still only executed at a 70 or 80%, but it's way better than when I don't have it written out.
For sure.
And I jokingly said, I was like, is it a coincidence that my business picked up? And of course it's not.
Yeah.
Right. Of course it's not.
No.
There's a plan, and then you work the plan and things happen.
Yeah.
It's funny how we all know that, but sometimes we fall off that train and then we get back on it, and then we're like, dude, what have I been doing? So that was a cool thing. Yeah. So if you're not writing down your plan, if you're not blocking out your time, whatever that looks like for you and your business, highly encourage you to do it, because simply being in that thought process of like laying it out will trigger your brain into another level of productivity. So I think that was cool.
I'm writing it down to talk about in the group. So
right on. Anything so far? Or
no, you're good. Keep going. I like it.
All right. So there's several of them that I have, and then I have some from other agents that shared this morning. Organizational success. Definitely not there, but I started really cleaning up my database for the first time. I remember when I first started, everybody's like, database. Who do you know? So I just dumped everybody and anybody that I ever knew into my database, right? And I look up now, 5 years in, I'm going, I'm not really in a relationship with that person. And even you've done this. You mentioned it, like sometimes you remove people. It's like, okay, they're in another bucket or whatever. But just cleaning that up and cleaning up my contacts on my phone, cleaning up my Google Sheet, making sure it matches with my KV Core, and having it organized, and then seeing those names, it just creates a lot more clarity. And then you're like scrolling like, oh shit, I haven't talked to that person in a long time, and it triggers your brain. And just like cleaning up your database. And you're supposed to do that. Ninja 9 talks about you're supposed to manage your database at least once a week. Yeah. Right. And when you do that, it just creates clarity.
Yeah. It's like cleaning your garage or, anything. But I can't and to be honest, you're never really done.
No.
And you always say, I'm not done. Well, no, you're not ever going to be done. You're always going to be doing that.
Right.
But you put them in different buckets, whatever. I mean, would you rather be, would you ever have 1,000 people in your database that you're at a level 1 with, or 300 that you're at a level 9 with? the level 9 is where you want to be. And you can't do that with 1,000 people, probably. Maybe one day you can, but I mean, to get going, if you know 300 people are your cheerleader, that's the way to be. Yeah. Level 9 with them, level 10, whatever. Level 5 is better than 0 with 1,000. That's and agents come in with that. You know that. And they say, like, how many people in your database? Oh, I got 3,000 people. No, you don't. No, you don't. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, some people, some big, huge groups might, but
I'm really working on it, and I'm really liking what I'm working through. But I just categorize it A, B, and C's, right? This is my A team, and it reminds me of my Bradley Middle School basketball team, right? A team, B team, C team, and all that. But this is my A team. These are my go-to. I could pick up. It wouldn't be weird at all for me to call them or text them. Like, it's a very personal relationship on some level. My B's are like, these are the people that they know me. I know them. You know, they're probably all on my social media, but we don't have a phenomenal personal relationship with. But maybe that we will eventually. Like, we're going to work that, and maybe they'll move into the A team. And then the C's is like everybody that I met at open house, right? These are people I met once or twice. They're probably on my email campaign. That's why I like my email campaign, goes out every week. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it just like, boop, popped up. You know, there's a deal, somebody that needs help. So now all of a sudden this C person is now a client. So they're at least a level B.
Oh, yeah.
And then they close. Now they're level A.
Yeah.
Right. So it just progresses that way. So it's pretty simple, and highly encourage you to work on your database.
So to me, anybody that came to your open house.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Top priority, because they didn't just pop by. You know, I mean, they're there looking for a house. So I get it. I get your relationship isn't as strong with them, but they're hot. They should be hot. And I know you did all that.
That was a long time
before.
Ago. Yeah. Which we'll get to here in a second.
And then I was going to say the A's, are those people somebody that you could text every single week?
Probably. At least a handful of them.
Let's start with a handful.
So yeah, exactly. Start with a handful, because it's better than nothing.
That's what Ashley and Christina did. And now where are they?
Right.
88, I know that, and probably 55, 56, I don't know.
Sure. No, for sure. So that's great. Make sure you work in your database. The next one is a marketing success, is what I labeled it as. Email and social media. So in the past week or so, all right, I sent out a weekly email. I think I've talked about that before. And I got this random email, like on Saturday night, Sunday night. And she literally said, "Hey, Tony, I hope you remember me from 3 years ago. We met at an open house. And I'm interested in this property." And she gave me the address, and it was a reply to one of my weekly emails. And I was like, oh my God, it works. You know, I started sharing it with you and different people, and I was like, it told you it works, right? And it's just one thing. It's not, my business is not completely revolve around the email. It's just one aspect. Course. But those emails make an impact, right? And when you're doing that and you're staying in front of these people in one way or another, like an email, all of a sudden you'll get those calls or those email responses. Of course, I called her. We have an appointment set up for this Saturday. We're going to look at listing her condo and buying another condo. It's like, okay, let's do this, right? And that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that email. Because I did follow up with her. I actually I'll show it to you. So don't get on me, all right? I made some notes. Thinking. When I met her at the open house, I did follow up with her pretty decently.
Yeah.
And then obviously, it kind of dried up. Right. But that email worked. And then another success story is social media. Another random guy reached out to me. I literally haven't spoken to him since middle school. Like, he said, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. You know, can you help me do this? And I was like, is this blah, blah, blah? Like, this person? And he's like, yeah, it's me. I was like, oh, wow, awesome, right? We haven't spoken since middle school. And we ended up having a great lunch on Friday. We're looking at selling his house, buying another house. And I asked him, I was like, what made you think to reach out to me, right? We're on Facebook and stuff like that, but not super active. Yeah. He's like, it's probably some social media thing popped up. He mentioned the podcast. And I was like, oh, because I obviously post about the podcast and share it in different things. I was like, it's another reminder that, yes, my business doesn't revolve around social media, but it is an aspect. And when you're kind of everywhere, email, social media, text messaging, putting out stuff, they see it, all right? And you start getting phone calls. Yeah. So that was pretty cool, and just wanted to share that. And it's funny how when it starts with just get organized, do stuff intentionally, and then things just kind of start snowballing and taking over. So, thoughts?
So good, dude. I mean, I love it.
Yeah, right on.
I do.
Yeah. We had it's kind of last minute. We found a new place for the coffee thing. And I was talking to some agents, and like you said, the energy was great this morning. It's a smaller group, but everybody was on fire. A lot of things going really well. And so these are a few little stories from their success stories that I wanted to share with the audience. So one was past client. All right, we talk about this all the time. This is what you preach about all the time. So that's why you have this huge grin on your face. I'm like, I told you. Yeah. All right. But again, past client, she helped a client of hers buy a property in Lavernia. She was just following up with them, checking in. Hey, how's everything going? How are the kids? They started school. Just common stuff. She would remind them of like, hey, keep track of stuff as your 1-year warranty is going throughout, make sure you write some notes down. And of course they're like, hey, by the way, we have a friend that wants to move to Lavernia. So boom, she's got another contract going on. And it's just another reminder. I love hearing those stories. I'm sure you do too. It's another reminder that this stuff works if you work it. But if you don't work it, if you just close the deal and never speak to them again, and there's not going to be a referral there, right? But you just follow up and stay in a relationship with people. Good things happen. Another one, Brandon did a great job, and he's so good. Like every time that he got connected with somebody, I knew he was going to make a sale. All right. And, but he was following with his past clients. I asked him, I was like, how did this happen? He's like, I've been following up. I was like, dude, like taking action. Right. And, but I love the personal touch that he put on it. All right. And, he was listening to, the family and the kids, and they had a birthday coming up and they wanted to go to hopscotch, and he went out of his way and got him tickets to go to hopscotch. And I was like, that is such a personal touch that separates you from everybody else. When you're able to do that and not just have like, here's a closing gift and it's generic and to everybody it's the same thing. Yeah. It's like, that's really
which is
cool.
Fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But he went above me. And the great thing about him, or you when you're doing that, he's doing it because he's a nice guy. Right. I mean, he's just nice. Yeah. And he goes the extra mile because he's nice and he cares about people, and then look what happens.
Right. No, it's showing that you care and that you truly do care, and it's not just a transaction, which most agents.
And from that, he got
more referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like all of his neighbors are looking to sell their houses. Like, dude, it's like racking up sales. So good for him. Yeah. Another great one, Christina out there does her newsletter, and she's been doing that for a while, and she's stayed very consistent with it. And then all of a sudden, her listing is going live this Thursday. It's a very nice house in a very nice area. And they reached out to her because of her newsletter, and it's just like, she hasn't spoken to them since college, right? They were in college band together. It's been like 10 plus years. And boom, I mean, she had contact information, and they're probably on social media and all that. But, consistently sending out that monthly newsletter, hey, thanks so much. You just stay top of mind. And those are some of the success stories that, I wanted to get on here and share. Yeah. Again, they're not to brag for these people or myself or shame. It's to go take one of those. Just take one of them. Like, hey, I'm going to organize the rest of my week in my Google Calendar. And that's going to put you in the right frame of mind to go, okay, this hour I'm going to do this. And then when you start doing that, one thing leads to the next, and you go, oh, that makes me think of this person that I can contact, or that makes me think of this other person that I can contact. Yeah. And it just kind of snowballs.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's fun.
What was the quote I sent out this week? Something about that, like a minute of organization saves a day of something. But anyway, the key and the message I wrote with it was, plan your day out every day and then execute it.
Yeah. I heard this when I first got started. It was just plan your work and work your plan. Yeah. And if you just and it really doesn't take that long.
Yeah. And if the first thing you write down to do is go through your database, then that's two of the things that you just said that are the two key ingredients to success. If you just do those two things, plan your day and work your database, you'll be successful.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to hear some success stories from our listeners. I think that'd be pretty cool. So go to the YouTube channel when we're posting this. Leave some comments there. I want to hear some success stories there. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So contact us. You have anything else that I know you wrote down some stuff?
No, I think we worked it all in. You know, one of the things I say is focus. And, we talked about in the group, like all the billionaires that we idolize, or not idolize, but, Mark Cuban people, what separates them is just they focus and don't get distracted by
you
stuff.
Can say hey, yeah. It's a podcast. You can say shit.
I know. But anyway, they don't get distracted.
Right.
So just do your plan and stick to it, but don't get distracted and work on your database. And we already said that, but keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you enjoyed the show, guys. If you did, share it with a friend. Leave us a review and give us a rating. I'm chopping this up pretty bad. That really helps us grow the show. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.